Make sure to follow my Instagram at Marspeed_official, where I'll answer all your questions in DMs. Hey guys, so today is showing the installation of the Auto-Vox M1W wireless parking system with a 4.3-inch screen. So this is basically a backup camera, and it's going to be installed on my 2009 Dodge Charger. I found this camera on Amazon and paid about $100 for it, but it usually goes on sale for around $60 here and there. Basically, I just wanted to try something within this price range to see if it would be any good. So this video is going to be the full installation video, and an upcoming video will be for the full review of it. I just didn't want to squish them both into one video. Alright, so now let's get on to the installation. So first of all, here's the unboxing of the product. Again, got it off Amazon for $100 Canadian. As you can see, you get the user manual, the 4.3-inch screen, some twist ties and T-clips for wiring, the cigarette lighter plug for the screen, the camera itself with all the wiring, the wireless signal receiver and antenna, and the suction mount for the windshield. So the install may be slightly different depending on your car and where you choose to put the camera and wiring. Obviously every car is going to be a little bit different. But on mine we're going to wire it through the license plate light area and up through the rear bumper, and the camera will be right at the back near the license plate. So the first thing we did was take off the license plate to get that out of the way. This is where I will be putting the camera, just above the plate. Now there are 4 clips on the trunk liner, so we pried those off. And if you lift up the rubber trim, there are 3 pieces to take off that hold the bumper together tight to the rest of the vehicle. The 2 outer pieces are these block type things with a screw rivet, so once you unscrew the top rivet, it will be easy to pull out. And the middle piece is a 2-piece rivet that is found in a bunch of places on these Chryslers, so once you pry the middle off, the whole thing will come out. So the reason why we have to take off those 3 pieces is just to get the bumper to have a little more leeway and flexibility so you can pull it back, because as we're seeing here, we're going to be feeding the wiring attached to the camera through the license plate light area, and then this will run through the bumper, so you have to pull the bumper back a little bit so the wire can squeeze through. And from there we took the taillights off and fed this into one of the holes where the taillight connects. As you can see here, the bigger hole there is where the harness goes through, and there's plenty of room even when the harness is plugged in to fit this wire in there as well. And as you can see here, the wire is fully hidden away inside the bumper area, and the camera is dangling below near the spot where we want it. You will also have to replace the trunk rubber trim and put back the 3 pieces that hold the bumper in place. Note that we're going to be leaving the camera for now because we do need to set up the rest of it so we can test it out to determine actually where we want to put it. So now we use the digital multimeter to find the reverse light wire and the ground. We need to determine where the reverse lights are getting their power from so that we can hook up the camera to this power source so the camera will come on whenever you switch the car into reverse. To do this, the car is turned on and in reverse with the emergency brake on, and as you can see, we're using the multimeter to check the voltage and see which wire in the reverse light harness that the power is going to when the car is in reverse. So once we identify that wire, we're going to hook up the camera to that wire. You can use the red metal T-clips that were included with the camera to probably make things a lot easier with the wiring, but we just prefer to splice the wires together since I've had problems in the past using T-clips where they just wouldn't work properly. So here, as you'll see, we have the positive or red cable that is attached to the wireless receiver from the camera, and we're splicing that to the reverse light wire. And we also have to do the exact same thing to find the ground wire and hook up the black or negative cable attached to the wireless receiver with that ground wire. So kind of the same thing. Again, using the multimeter to check for ground, the red cable is still attached to the reverse light with the car turned on and in reverse, since we know that was a power source. And we finally found the ground wire, so we're going to splice the black camera wireless receiver wire again to the ground wire, as you'll see in the video. If you do want to use the T-clips again, because they're easier to use, follow the same steps, but when you isolate the wires, just connect them with the T-clips instead of splicing them together. So now the hard part is over, and you can start to put everything back together. So we had taken the taillights off to put the wiring through the area. So as you can see, when we put the taillights back on, the wire is nicely hidden away through there. So now connect the antenna to the wireless receiver. Very easy to do, just screw it on. And now you have to pick a spot, obviously, to put the wireless receiver, which is easy to do because they actually have some 3M tape on the back of it for this very purpose. On the charger, it was easy to hide most of the wiring behind the trunk liner in the side of the trunk, and then we stuck the receiver on a metal area, and this was a good spot because it was the closest possible spot to the cabin area, so this should give us the best possible signal for the camera. So the last thing to do is pick a spot for the camera. Make sure to put the car in reverse and test it to make sure that the camera is actually working, and to make sure that it's upright and not flipped around. For our camera, as we can see, it's looking good and ready to be stuck on. So ideally I would have wanted the camera centered, but this would block the license plate light, so we put it slightly to the right of the light. Again, this camera comes with 3M tape on either side, which makes mounting it very easy. And once the camera is on there, we just covered it up with the license plate, which fit nicely right back on. Now put those trunk liner clips back on and the job is done. Actually, there is one more thing to do though. You do have to find a place for your screen so you can see what the camera shows you. So pick a screen on the windshield or on the dashboard and use that suction cup and you're good to go. Alright, so that's the end of the installation. The install was pretty easy. You just need some basic tools and knowledge, but not really too complicated, and was done in about 30 minutes. Here's some footage of the camera, working great so far. And I will be doing a full review of this thing, so stay tuned for that in a future upcoming video. Thanks for watching, and I have to say, if you don't have a backup camera, it's pretty useful and helpful for only $50 to $100 and 30 minutes of your time. Alright, I'll see you next video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Mopar and car content.